Oh, hello, Samantha Creative Gardener. And I was just looking out for my lemongrass. It was struggling. It struggles when it doesn't get enough water. And look at the bottom leaves. I'm going to have to just trim it a bit just to see if that stimulates some growth. But one of the things that I found with the lemongrass, so it's not only a really lovely herbal tea, it's used widely around the Caribbean, and it's usually called fever grass. And I remember my mother talking about it when we was younger, fever grass. You now get tea bags, lemongrass tea bags, but it's nothing like having the fresh leaves. So it grows like a grass. Yes, I'm going to have to, what I'm going to do is cut it back and then see if I can preserve the dry the leaves. Now it tastes lovely as a herbal tea. More recently, I've tried it in ordinary tea, and it really does have a lovely flavour. The combinations of flavours, this and the black tea and some milk and some sugar, is just like gorgeous. So this is, the lemongrass. My other little one, I used to have 3 patches of lemongrass, and they were growing really vigorously, really well. And then suddenly one year they all started to have issues. And I'll show you the other one. I had to take a little plantlet from one of them, and I put it here, and it was just like, it grew really well. But then look, if you see here, that's where the original patch was, and it was growing really well. And then suddenly something started to attack it from underground, and it's not been the same. And then I had another patch, it just died down. But if you can get it growing, it's really useful to have, beautiful herbal tea. It's just out there in your garden waiting to be picked. And as I say, what I plan to do is dry some of these, and then I've got a constant supply, because this looks like it's struggling, and if I cut it back it might stimulate some of the growth. Like, look at all of this. So before they were all upright. So it may also be competing with the moringa tree that's here. So I had planned to trim that a bit, but it's kind of like in the middle of its production of drumsticks, not trumpets. Okay, but that's the lemongrass, fever grass, and it's also used in Thai cooking. I use it in soups as well, and I plan to do a soup in a few days. And the bay leaf, the broadleaf thyme, I put all of them in there, and the flavours that erupt from these plants are just amazing. I wanted to share this with you. If you've got any tips, again, I'm asking for tips, because at one point they were growing really well, and then suddenly everything just changes. The conditions haven't, in terms of what I've been doing, hasn't changed. I've been doing the same thing, but perhaps, I haven't clipped this in a while. Maybe, get rid of the ones that are half dying. I sometimes, like these ones, I wouldn't use in cooking. I would just scatter them around the garden, and having that boost of, you know, kind of the lemony smell is nice to have around, and I'm hoping wards off some of the potential insects. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. It's there's hope for the lemongrass, but I need to tend to it and just make sure, maybe look around the root ball just to make sure everything's okay. And I've seen Cole sniffing around here, so maybe he's got something to do with it. Anyway, that's why I'm not going to use the bottom leaves. I have to deter him. I think I've seen him wee here a couple of times, which is a pain. It's just like, why here? Anyway, that's a conversation for Cole to have. But yeah, so the remedy will be cut off the drooping leaves, tidy it up a bit, put some Mexican sunflower down so it's got some nutrients. Maybe it needs a lot more nutrients. And the higher leaves, so I'm going to cut it to kind of try and stimulate it a bit. So the higher leaves I'll be drying and using, put it in a jar. Has to be a glass jar. And then, yeah, we'll see where we go from there, because I really don't want to lose them. And they grew, the 3 spots grew from one plant. And it was just amazing. If you saw them in their heights, they were just amazing. They were all kind of bushy and tall and spread out like that. It was just lovely. Anyway, so I shall leave you there. Again, if you've got any tips, leave it in the comments below, and I look forward to sharing with you soon. So take care, stay blessed, and be a blessing.